I've got to get better microphone technique because we think Sam's microphone technique has improved, and you may not. There was a time when there was a problem when you were much louder, and then there was other times when it wasn't. But I was actually manually doing that to all of Sam's speaking bits because he was so much louder. But it seems like because your timbre of your voice is so much deeper, or it's got deeper. I think.
Right.
You had a cold last week. I don't mean that.
Yeah.
But I think also, I think it's a microphone technique. I think you've got a proper sort of talking into the mic like that. You don't touch the mic, obviously. That's disgusting. But and I think that's what you meant to do. You meant to be this close?
Yeah, you're supposed to be close and not move.
That's quite difficult.
It is.
It's very unnatural. But we'll do it anyway.
Yeah. Well, you can move when you're not speaking.
I've got a massive Hitler moustache. Okay. So chat first. Let's chat. I watched a YouTube video, and it was about some DJ. What was his name? Eddie Trunk?
Something like that.
I've heard the name. Basically saying, rock stars are not your friends, which is true. You don't know them. You've never met them. What are you talking about? But there is a thing of belief from fans. Well, they're not really fans, are they? They're sort of weird socialites. In that, well, they're not fans of the music. They're fans of the people or something. I don't know. They think they're their friends. That if they meet them, well, first of all, they should be able to meet them. And if they meet them, that they should be their friends. Hey, mate, I've never met you. And you get these meet and greets and all that stuff now, don't you? Because there's a lot of money in the fans. It's kind of society has accepted nerdism is a thing, and it's a good thing. So it's okay to be the obsessive fan, so that they make a lot of money out of it. Yeah,
because nerds make a lot of money because they tend to be quite introvert and
we
clever.
We win. Nerds have won in your face. But this is specifically about the sort of expectation of people that a rock star should be your friend if you meet them, and you should be able to meet them. You should. It's rude when they don't become your friends. And I just do not get that at all. There's a transaction has taken place. You've paid money, yeah? And the money was explicitly for a CD or an MP3. It was a license to listen to some music. That's what you're paying for. You're not paying. You don't own the music either. That's another thing. Or you've paid. Well, you pay quite a lot probably for a concert ticket. My argument is it's worth it. Those ridiculous concerts. It's such a fantastic experience. Usually, that often it's worth it. But that's not the thing, is it? The description of that transaction, the rules of that transaction are clear, aren't they? It doesn't say on the concert ticket they are your friends, and that transaction is finished. That's it. No, they owe me now for the rest of my life. They now have to be my mate because I And you think about how much a real fan of a band, how much they spend on a band a year. It's say £100. Do you think that's reasonable?
Yeah.
When I say fan, I mean fanatic.
Okay. I don't know. I've never spent that much money on.
Bloody hell, I do. But that's not the point. Let's say so it's £100 a year. Yeah. That's going to buy them a McDonald's once a month, and therefore you have to be my mate for all eternity. Didn't say that on the ticket. Didn't say that on the CD. Didn't say that when you clicked on the MP3. Where does that come from?
Well, I'm sorry to derail this little chat back into politics again. Bloody hell. We were talking about World War III last week. Did we actually put that up?
No, well, we had too much politics.
Anyway. But, I mean, there is a sort of... I mean, do you believe you should be able to meet your MP?
That's an interesting one, isn't it? And that's a different one as well. I certainly think it's a different argument. No, I don't.
You don't believe you should be able to meet your MP, who is your representative in government in a democracy?
Well, it depends, doesn't it? Well, what do you mean by meet? Right, come out your house now, midnight.
Yeah, but I mean,
they should respond to your email.
Yeah, they have weekly surgeries where anyone can turn up and you can meet them. Yeah,
yeah, that's different. Isn't it?
It's kind of different. Not ordinarily, I would say no. I mean, you shouldn't have any expectation to meet members of a band. But given the way politics has changed over the last 30 years, and one of the fundamental precepts of neoliberalism / market fundamentalism is that government has to get out of the way. People exercise their influence on society through their spending. Yeah? Yeah. So the market shapes society depending on the choices you make on how to spend your money. Therefore,
the fans own the bands.
The fans are exercising a political choice when they purchase tickets and CDs and stuff like that.
What's wrong
and
with
therefore, the members of the band are their political representatives in the market.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And in that sense, the concert is like an MP's surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That's why neoliberalism is wrong. 'Cause that's insane. But yeah, absolutely. You can't argue with the logic, can you? If you know, that's fantastic. And I think people who are very, very social people who like to meet people who live for that social interaction, often aren't aware. They often don't have very much empathy, and they expect other people to be like that. I think that's a thing, you know, and they think people are being rude when they're not just as outgoing as they are. I think that's a thing, and I think that's part of it. And those kind of people who sort of harangue bands and then go online and say, "He was so rude to me. Tony Iommi wasn't my best friend." We know Tony Iommi's a really private person. Leave him alone, you know. And that obviously, there's bands. People in bands can be arseholes. Obviously, I mean, it doesn't mean, you know, that doesn't mean Robert Fripp can, I don't know what he's done. Whatever he is, he's done. He doesn't necessarily have to be rude. And you know, or Richie Blackmore actually actively likes to be an arsehole because it's funny. You know, years ago he could be really horrible or the nicest person in the world, whatever he felt like at the time. That doesn't mean that's justified. But the expectation is there. You have to be my friend.
Do these people actually want them to be friends, or do they just want to meet them?
Well, this seems to be the argument. I've trawled through internet crap, and that seems to be the argument. I mean, I actually read the sentence. No, they don't have to pretend to be your friends. They have to actually be your friends. I read that sentence someone said that.
Oh, no way. See, I can understand. Actually, I've always found Stephen Wilson quite an interesting person.
Yes.
And I'd like to sit down as a chat with him and, you know, ask him questions and stuff like that. But I don't think I'm not expecting him to be a friend.
Come on my house, Steve. I bought 3 albums. I gave you £30.
Here's my address. It's similar with thing with Stuart Lee, really. I mean, he's an interesting guy. I'd like to sit and talk to him and sort of...
Yeah.
Because he's an interesting guy. Like, I mean, whether, you know, friend?
Yeah,
I'm expecting him friend.
Yeah. And well, you know, I'm just not a people person. And I think, you know, I don't really... It would just be embarrassing. Even Stuart Lee, it would just be embarrassing.
It would. I think it would be embarrassing if you'd paid for it.
Oh, God, yeah.
Could you imagine if you'd paid for it? So you pay to me, and you're with this person, and all the emphasis is on you at that point.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you want then? You've paid for this.
Yeah.
What is it you got to say?
Yeah. And you know they don't want to really be there. They've been paid to be there.
No, I don't think it should be a thing, really.
It's just
people are making money out of it.
I think there's a lack of empathy, and I think people don't realise not everyone is outgoing. And if you are outgoing, it's kind of the person in the pub who talks to everyone. And for 95% of the people there, it's really embarrassing. But the person doing it has no understanding of what's going on. They think, why aren't they talking back to me? They're so rude. They're disrespectful. Have some empathy, people. Not everyone is like that.
Yeah.
They don't have to be like that. What does that have to do with music? Nothing.
Well, that is the other thing. I mean, these are musicians, you know. They're not
celebrities.
Yeah.
And the assumption, because they're musicians, therefore they're celebrities. Some of them are. I mean, Kanye West is specifically a celebrity. That is inseparable from his music, because it's a pop thing, isn't it? That's different. Robert Fripp actively rejects being a celebrity, and then he goes on the telly with Toya, but whatever. But people still hound him and say, "Why would you give me an autograph? I own you." Why? What does that mean? It's madness.
Yeah, but if you saw Robert Fripp in the queue at Greg's or Starbucks for our international followers,
if it was,
and if you said to him, Robert Fripp, how interesting! I bloody love your music. Can we talk about Red or like something?
I want to talk about We'll Let You Know from Stars and Black. Why does the tape end?
Or just, you could if you've got something playing on your mind about something specific. I mean, should you ask him?
No, it's really rude.
Is it rude? It's not rude to ask a question.
40 years ago.
I mean, you could go up to someone and say, "Look, I understand you. You don't always want to be harassed. I'm just wondering, what happened? What happened here? You can tell me to bugger off if you want to."
I mean, with specifically, if it's Robert Fripp, we know specifically he wants to be left alone. He's a private person. So if you that point has already been made. Everybody knows that. Even the people hassling, they know. You can't not know that, can you? So that's different, isn't it? If you already know he wants to be left alone, leave him alone. If we don't know, that's different, isn't it? There's a different argument.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I wouldn't particularly want to be left alone, but then again, I probably wouldn't notice him there. I'd probably walk straight past him.
Well, he's not really noticeable, actually. Yeah, it would be embarrassing, and it would be a thing of trying to pretend.
Yeah, but Kev, at some point in the future, hopefully a long time in the future, you're going to be on your deathbed, and you're going to think, shit, there's some things I wanted to do, yeah? Some things I don't know, which I wish I'd found out. And maybe having a conversation with Robert Fripp is one of those things, yeah?
Why?
Well, some people just, he's an interesting guy. He's made a lot of interesting music, and it's not always clear what is the creative process behind that, yeah?
Well, it is now, because he's told us.
Has he?
He's told us everything ever.
There are no questions left.
Diary for 30 years or 20 years or whatever it is. It's all there. So, yeah, and then, also in the case of Fripp, he's already told us everything and released everything. It's not like, when are you going to release that live album?
Yeah, but I mean, if you say, what happened here? And he says, well, go read this. That's fair enough, isn't it? It's all there.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's sort of written lots and lots and lots of stuff, done lots of videos or whatever, I mean, maybe you haven't trawled through it all. I don't know.
Yeah, whether he should be rude back. He's very, very rude back.
Well, I tell you what I'm thinking, Kev. There's like, people are pegging out recently that, I think, shit. I always imagine that one day I'd actually speak to them. Like Tony Benn, Brian Clough, people like that. I think, oh God. Douglas Adams. I really like just to chew the cud just for a couple of minutes with these people.
Although Douglas Adams would be embarrassing as well, because he would know I'm one of those people, and I know I'm one of those people that he's fed up of meeting. And it would just be embarrassing again.
I mean, I would start the conversation with that. Look, I know you really don't want to meet me, but you got to remember, or you got to realise this is a bloody big deal for me, and that the perceived reward in my mind is bigger than the perceived inconvenience to you, as I see it. So in my mind, this is a no-brainer. I've got to do this, but I know you really don't want me to do it. And
from his perspective, it happens every day for 1,000 days.
It must be. Imagine if someone who watched this video stopped us in the street. I'd actually be pretty delighted. I'd be like, "Wow!"
We'd be talking to them. Like, come back.
But if it did happen every day, I could imagine it's quite grating.
Yeah, because I'm sure the first fan you meet, it's like brilliant.
Yeah, but I mean, you're saying have empathy for their situation. They've got to have empathy for your situation as well. There's two human beings here. Yeah.
Yes.
One's not more special than the other.
No. But that, and yet that's by wanting to meet them. That's what we're saying. You're special. Therefore, you have to talk to me, random guy. But I mean, just speaking to someone you don't know.
Yeah,
A
it's
stranger.
difficult.
Why are you speaking to a stranger?
I mean, it's quite difficult for us because speaking to people we know is quite difficult.
Yeah.
Just going up to a stranger and then starting a conversation is like unthinkable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for some people, it's like
It's
the most
really,
natural
really
thing.
natural,
and it's those people who don't always have the empathy that not everyone's like that.
Yeah. But here's a question, yeah. So a fan goes up to someone, a famous, and says, "Oh yeah, what's going on? How's it going?" And then the celebrity, "Oh, screw you, go away. Fed up of you people." Yeah, if another celebrity goes up to them that they don't know and starts tuning the good, "Oh yeah, how you doing? Whatever." There's a sort of a perceived level. Well, they're on my level, therefore they're allowed to speak to me, isn't there? You find this with comedians, yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Some musicians are very sociable, so they do talk to people. Dio very famously was always talk to the fans like that because he's a sociable person.
Okay, so if Rick Wakeman walked up to Robert Fripp, do you reckon Robert Fripp would tell him to sling his hook?
Probably, but for different reasons.
Okay, whoever. I can't think.
Well, why would he be walking up to him? There'd be a context of the situation. Has he just followed him down the street?
We bumped into him in Greg's. They're both buying sausage rolls. Pasties, whatever. Oh, that's a nice pasty. Oh, it's Robert Fripp. Oh, how you doing, Robert? Yeah, how you doing, Rick? What's going down?
Remember that thing when we happened in 1974 when we met with that thing? Yeah, and then they have a...
Well, they wouldn't do that. I mean, yeah, okay. It's a bad example. Two celebrities that don't really know each other. Yeah, so maybe Robert Fripp and Van Halen, something like that.
Well, it's the same thing. So Van Halen might come up to Robert Fripp and say, "Oh, my Robert Fripp, man! Oh, sorry, my Fripp." It's the same thing, isn't it? It doesn't matter if they're famous.
Yeah,
as
but
well.
I'm saying in that situation, Robert Fripp would entertain him and sort of speak to him, and
Would he?
I would think so.
I don't think so. I think he'd run away just like he always does with everyone else. I can't remember what he does. You read his responses, and some of them are so extreme, but often it's.
I mean, we are focusing on Robert Fripp here, which is an extreme.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we should choose someone a little bit more
moderate. Yeah.
But
that's the thing. I mean, probably most of them grin and bear it. Most people are sociable enough to grin and bear it, but most of them don't enjoy it. There's a minority of them actually like doing it. Most of them don't want to do it, but it's become increasingly part of the process.
Look, if Tom Cruise can meet the fans, then so can anyone. There are more fans of Tom Cruise than anyone. And he spends hours signing autographs, shaking hands, talking to people.
That's a good example, isn't it? I mean, is Tom Cruise an actor?
Yeah.
Sort of. He's in good films. But I don't know whether I call him... Well, he is literally acting, obviously. But
yeah, he's an actor.
It's just Tom Cruise, isn't it? I mean, it's not like he's...
He's not like a personality, is he? He's not sort of like a personality that we will out on a talk show or whatever, or a panel show.
Yeah, and he's using his celebrity to promote himself by talking to all the fans, isn't he? Which makes him... Everyone in the world knows the name. Out of all the people we've mentioned, obviously, everybody in the world knows who Tom Cruise is.
Uh-huh.
Well, we don't know who he really is. But the persona of Tom Cruise is something he's created, and etc.
Scientology isn't a religion.
But if someone says, "Well, I'm a musician. I'm not a celebrity. Leave me alone." Leave them alone.
But musicians are celebrities.
No, they're not. They're musicians.
I suppose
They
if
can be
you are a musician, yeah, sort of like a faceless sort of musician in a band.
Yeah.
Then maybe. But I mean, bands are quite often sold on the personality of the people involved.
Yeah. The pop. The whole thing. Yeah, that's Kanye West. Yeah, which is different. It's a different thing, isn't it? But if they're just making music, here is our music. I've written a blog about our music. I've released 5,000 live albums, and I've got to review another one. Then what's that got to do with celebrity? What's that? There's no. It's music. What does that have to do with music? Nothing. It's
I think you've got a very purist view of of rock music. There's a lot of
yeah.
celebrity tied up in it.
But well, why? It shouldn't be.
I mean, it shouldn't be, but it is.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? Yeah, and there's
Unless you listen to jazz or something like that. I mean, we are talking about rock music, which is a form of the popular music.
So what's the difference?
Jazz isn't very popular.
Nobody likes jazz.
So people are listening to jazz for the actual music, I suppose.
When I went to that concert we talked about a few weeks ago, we did meet the keyboard player. Actually, he came up to us though. Did you enjoy the concert? Yeah, it was good. Thanks. Yeah. My brother asked for a marker pen before we left, and I was like, "What the for?" It was to sign the CD. He didn't have it. He bought the CD and got it signed by the pianist guy.
Very nice. I'll sell for hundreds of pounds in a few years on eBay.
Yeah. Well, and on the subject of autographs, it's very difficult not to just talk about Robert Fripp, isn't it? Because that's the thing. But he doesn't sign autographs, and the reason is he signs autographs. They appear on eBay for lots of money. So it's not like someone's getting a personal thing. It's that people sell them.
Yeah, I heard someone talking about that, moaning about it. They did come up with a solution actually, which was quite good. I can't remember what it is. Maybe it'll come back.
I think what you said hit the nail on the head. That the thing about celebrity being tied in with music, and I reject that. And I tell people I'm a musician. Not everybody, but there's a minority of people who you can't be a musician. One, you're old, and two, you're not pretty. You have to be pretty to be a musician, surely. And there's no perception of music other than what's on the telly. That's all music. Pop. If you're being band, that's to get girls and to look pretty and dance on the telly. Yeah. What does that have to do with music?
Hit man, happening.
There you go. That was quite long. We beat Eddie Trunk with this little video. That was boring. I think we talked for 25 minutes. We'll edit it a bit. Maybe, I don't know. It's still very long. Sorry. So yeah, we're going to review music now, which you've already seen. Goodbye.